Today's project is going to be putting together a lawnmower. My daughter needs a lawnmower, so I have a graveyard of lawnmowers down here, and I need to put something together. So basically all I'm going to do is find something that looks like it's complete before I drag anything back. So I've got a little of everything down here. This one here is missing a few things, and I think there was something back here that I may be able to put together. This one here looks like I might be able to do something with. The rewind is pulled out of it, and it's missing, doesn't look like it's missing anything. So it looks like I might be able to work with this one. So this is going to be our first one. I'll try this, and if this doesn't work, I'll come back down and try another one. Before I get too excited cleaning it all up, I want to make sure that this even turns over. Now what I'll do is I'm going to take the top of this motor off, the cover, just so I can turn the crank itself. The other thing is, I'm not sure if you can see in here, but there's a lot of sludge and slime in there from the old fuel. So I'll have to drain that tank and probably put a carburetor kit in it as well. I'll check the fire first as well. So first thing I'm going to do is take this cover off, make sure it turns over, check and see if we have some fire, and go from there. I love these mowers when I find these on the side of the road because it looks like it's pretty much all there, and the cord is all wrapped up around the handle here. So probably what happened is they got frustrated, threw it outside of the road, and went and bought a new one. So lucky for me, I've got enough parts kicking around that I can put this together. Okay, so got a lot of stuff in here, needs to be cleaned up. Let's disengage the brake unit, and it turns over, and it feels like it has compression, so that's a good sign. I don't hear anything rattling around in there. I'm up on the compression, so that looks good. What I'll do now is I'll take the air and I'll kind of blow everything around here, kind of get that stuff out of the way. Next, what I like to do is to take a clamp or a bungee, whatever you have, piece of rope, and I'm going to see if I can show you this, is to be able to put the safety handle up and just put a clamp on it so I can kind of work with the motor a little bit. Just like that. Just kind of holds the safety handle up so I can kind of concentrate on this area now without having to worry about holding that in. So now I can turn the motor freely. So I'll pull the plug out and we'll check for spark. And I'll just kind of set it on the side here and take a glove and just give it a couple of spins, and it's firing. Now you're obviously not going to see that on the camera, but it is firing. And I can tell you right now, just by turning that this mechanism right here that's supposed to spin for the rewind is froze right up solid. So I can either try to loosen that up or go down back and find another one. So I'll take a look at it first. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to knock this lip off. If I can get that lip off, I can get in there and clean that up. Pull that off, and look at that. Look at it all rusted, and there's two bearings jammed right up in there. Well, after further inspection, I'm going to need to replace this unit. The reason for that, and I'll try to get a close-up of that for you, is got this all freed up, but the ball bearing is getting jammed in these little cog areas here. And the reason why they're getting jammed is it's worn out, and it's a place for the bearing to actually set in. Now what I'm about to show you is not the proper way of taking this off. I don't claim to be a professional, I'm just doing what I can to make this all work. This is kind of plastic, so it's kind of hard to get onto. What I'll do is I'll take a piece of wood and I'll just hit it hard enough and it should knock it free. Just like that. I'm sure there's a tool that goes on top there. My buddy right now is probably laughing about it, but you got to do what you got to do. So there it is right there. Yeah, it's a piece of plastic, and I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but right there. Okay, it's worn out. So the ball bearing was actually getting caught between this piece here, which I had misplaced. The ball bearing was actually getting caught between there and here and causing it to jam. So I'm going to just replace this unit. So I need to go back down and find another one of these. So I may get lucky enough and find one that's aluminum. They're a little bit easier to work with and they don't wear out like this plastic does. Alright, so I went down back and I was able to find another one. And this one here is an aluminum one. This is one of the older ones here. So this one's all freed up. And I did spray some lubricant on there. So we're going to put that on. I'm going to use the same process that I used to take it off. I'm just going to kind of put it where I want it there. Take a hammer. Kind of knock it on. And that's about all I do. Again, you know, there's probably the proper way of doing it, but this is how I do it. Now that that's all done, we'll put the screen back on here. Now we're going to put the cover back on. And we're not out of the woods yet. We still got to deal with the gas tank problem. And it still may need a carburetor kit. I'm going to try without the carburetor kit first. While I'm thinking of it, I'll check the oil. With the gas issue, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to avoid taking the carburetor apart and taking the tank off. And there's a little bit of fuel in there. I think that what I'm going to just try to do, and I've had success on this, is I'm going to put some fuel in it, some fresh stuff, like this, maybe a little bit more. And what I'll do is I'm going to slosh that around in the mower itself. See if I can do this without knocking the camera over. Just going to slosh that all around inside that tank. Just try to do the best I can. And again, I've had a lot of success by doing just this. Then what I'll do is take the cover off, and I have a pump that I pump all my old fuel and move it around. See if I can get a shot of that. And right there. That there is a pump, and I'm going to pump the fuel out, and I'm going to pump it in this tank. And I recycle that fuel, and that's another video. But anyways. Put some fresh fuel in it. Now we're going to put the plug in it, clear everything away from it, and we're going to see if this thing will start. Well, after spending about 15 minutes looking for my spark plug, I went back and reviewed the video, and I left it underneath the cover. So I'm going to leave that in the video anyways. So just to show you that, you know, I make mistakes. I'm not a professional, just getting by. We had the spark plug in, we turned it over. I'm going to try pushing the primer here, and it's good news because I can feel that it is pushing fuel. So I'm going to move some things around here, reset up the camera, and I'm going to do this first try on the camera just to see what it's going to do. My predictions are that it's going to start right up. So here we go. Making sure my camera is rolling, and it is. I primed it. No compression. Okay, that's a good sign. Sure about that ring line though. I'm going to have to deal with that a little bit. Let's give it some more fuel. Remember, this has been sitting for several years. over, make sure it has spark. Flushing out the fuel, you've got to do that no matter what. And there we go, we're up and going.